Chapter 1. Piper bolted upright, sweat dampening her PJs despite December's chill. What was that? Her bleary gaze flashed to the clock, 1:30, then to Aurora standing like a sentinel at her bedroom door. The husky's white fur rippled down her back, her ears alert. Piper shifted the tangle of snowflake flannel sheets binding her legs, listening. There it was again. Creaks echoed along the floorboards below. Heavy steps, not cadence. Aurora lunged at the door, pawing the battered wood frame. A low growl rumbled through the dog's throat. Piper got to her feet, ignoring the cold shock of the floor as she crossed the room. She cracked her door ever so slightly and peered into the darkness. Another creak echoed from the downstairs hall. The footsteps paused at the base of the stairs. Aurora whimpered, nudging at the opening with her muzzle. Piper reached down to grab Aurora's collar, but wasn't quick enough. Aurora charged into the hallway. Piper shot out after her, but her sister pulled her up short, with a rifle in her hand. Caden released her grasp on Piper and raised her finger to her lips. They moved down the hall as Aurora barreled down the stairs, growling. A male grunt sounded below them. Something hit the ground hard. Caden aimed her rifle at the chaos below. "Get the lights," she whispered. Piper flipped the switch. Aurora stood at attention, a foot away from the man on the floor. He pulled his arm away from his face and looked up. "Reef?" Piper gaped at her brother in horror. "Is that blood?" Landon Grainger slammed back the shot of rum and let the warm fire crinkle through his chest. "Looks like you've got some sorrows to drown, officer." Becky Malone shifted on her stool, leaning in until the spicy scent of her perfume tickled his nose. He set the empty glass on the bar and signaled the bartender for another. "You have no idea." She trailed her finger along the rim of her glass. "Oh, I think you'd be surprised how much I know." Her confident tone startled him. Was he that transparent? "Heartbreak is no stranger to me." Landon grimaced. Apparently he was that transparent. "Another shot?" the bartender asked, the bottle poised over Landon's empty glass. He hesitated, wanting the oblivion, needing it, but it was the needing it that had made him wary enough to try to stop his slide. "Better make it a beer." He needed to walk out, needed to drive home. One beer and he'd call it a night. He shouldn't have entered the bar in the first place, definitely shouldn't linger. "You know," Becky scooted closer, her thigh nestling against his, "I find company is a surefire cure for heartbreak." He'd have asked why she was so certain it was heartache fueling his need to forget, but knew the question would only expose him further. If Becky mentioned Piper's name. Piper. Landon gripped the neck of the beer bottle with 2 fingers and tilted it to his lips. Funny how quickly old habits returned. If he wasn't careful, he'd find himself at the bottom of the slippery slope he was skirting. He'd walked the straight and narrow for too long to let the pain knock him back that far. "What do you say?" Becky trailed her fingers down his chest, creating no less burning than the rum had. "I'm real good company." "I'm sure you are, but—" "Those buts," she shook her head. "They're half your problem." He took a quick draught of his beer, tossed a 10 on the bar, and stood. Becky cocked her head with a smile. "Is that an invitation?" She swiveled to face him.